Imagine if one spoonful of apple cider vinegar could burn fat, crush cravings, and balance blood sugar overnight. That promise has flooded TikTok, health blogs, even doctor feeds. But here's the twist. When researchers actually tested it, the results weren't what marketers expected. Some benefits are real, but many are exaggerated. Throughout this video, we'll uncover what science truly says about ACV, how it affects weight, glucose, heart health, and even your gut. Stay until the end for a bonus. 3 proven, low-cost habits that work as well, or better, than vinegar. Quick note before we start. This content is educational only, not medical advice. If you have diabetes, kidney disease, reflux, gastroparesis, are pregnant, or take prescription drugs, check with your doctor before making ACV a routine. Alright, let's get curious. Apple cider vinegar begins as apple juice. Yeast turns its sugar into alcohol. Then bacteria convert that into acetic acid, the ingredient behind its bite. Food scientists writing in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry report that most vinegars hover around 5% acetic acid. That's the compound doing the real work. The cloudy strands called the mother are just cellulose and friendly bacteria left from fermentation. Nutrition experts reviewing human trials found no measurable advantage from those strands themselves. In short, ACV is mostly acetic acid, water, and trace plant compounds. It's simple chemistry, not liquid magic. Here's a surprise. Apple cider vinegar isn't unique. Clinical data in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that white and wine vinegars with similar acid levels perform about the same in blunting blood sugar spikes. Balsamic vinegar tastes richer but hasn't shown extra health perks. Nutrition researchers note that nearly all vinegar benefits come from the acetic acid itself, not from the fruit source. So if you're chasing results, any 4 to 6% vinegar can deliver them. Still, ACV remains popular because it feels more natural. Next, let's tackle the claim that built its fame: fat burning. Several small randomized trials suggest vinegar might trim a few pounds. In one 12-week study published in Bioscience, Biotechnology, and Biochemistry, people drinking 1 to 2 tablespoons daily lost about 2 to 3 kilograms, roughly 5 pounds, more than the placebo group. A 2025 meta-analysis in Nutrients echoed that pattern. Modest, short-term loss, not a transformation. Researchers explain that vinegar may slightly reduce appetite and water retention, but it doesn't melt fat. Think of it as a nudge, not a miracle. So why do so many online transformations look dramatic? Let's find out. Follow-up data show that when participants stop taking vinegar, their weight drifts back up. Scientists in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition note that sustainable loss depends on overall calorie balance, not one ingredient. Vinegar doesn't rewrite metabolism. It only adds a temporary effect. Many trials lasted just 8 to 12 weeks and involved small groups, hardly the recipe for certainty. The real secret isn't vinegar, it's consistency. So if ACV alone isn't the fix, maybe its biggest power lies somewhere else, in how it affects blood sugar. This is where vinegar truly shines. Experiments in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that when people take 1 to 2 tablespoons of vinegar before eating bread or rice, their blood sugar rises more slowly. Researchers at Lund University discovered that acetic acid delays stomach emptying and mildly inhibits starch-digesting enzymes. The result? A smoother glucose curve and steadier energy. The effect is strongest in people with insulin resistance or prediabetes. So ACV doesn't cure diabetes, but it can blunt those spikes that make you tired or hungry again an hour later. Short-term control looks promising, but what about lasting change? Clinical studies in diabetes and metabolic syndrome found small improvements in fasting glucose and hemoglobin. A1C, usually around 0.5%. That's meaningful, but far below what medications or structured diet programs achieve. Researchers caution that most trials are tiny and unblinded. Experts from the American Diabetes Association agree. Vinegar can complement, not replace, standard therapy. Think of it as adding one supportive tool to your toolbox. Next, let's talk cravings and energy. In experiments summarized by the Appetite Journal, volunteers who drank diluted vinegar before a starchy meal felt slightly fuller and sometimes ate fewer calories later in the day. Scientists suspect the mild stomach delay increases fullness signals. But longer studies reviewed in nutrition reviews show this effect fades over time. Interestingly, protein and fiber at the start of a meal create a much stronger satiety response. So if your goal is fewer cravings, start with real food. Vinegar can play a supporting role. Now, how about heart health? A handful of small trials report modest drops in triglycerides after consistent vinegar use, mainly in people with high baseline levels. The Atherosclerosis Journal documents these changes but labels them clinically minor. Heart specialists from the American Heart Association emphasize that vinegar isn't a substitute for proven interventions like exercise, balanced diet, and statins when needed. One meta-analysis suggested systolic blood pressure fell by roughly 3 millimeters of mercury for each 30 milliliters consumed, but evidence quality was low. So yes, measurable, but modest. Next stop, your liver. Animal experiments hint that acetic acid can reduce liver fat, yet human data are almost non-existent. Hepatology researchers tracking non-alcoholic fatty liver patients found improvements only when participants lost weight overall, whether vinegar was involved or not. The American Association for the Study of Liver Diseases lists vinegar nowhere in its clinical guidance. So, if your goal is a healthier liver, focus on calorie control and movement. Vinegar may tag along, but it isn't the driver. Now let's address a trending topic: gut bacteria. Despite influencer claims, there's no solid evidence that drinking the cloudy mother changes your gut microbes in a meaningful way. Microbiologists writing in Gut Microbes explain that ACV's acidity actually kills most live bacteria before they reach your intestines. For real probiotic effects, foods like yogurt or kimchi perform far better. Experts in Nature Reviews Gastroenterology and Hepatology highlight that the microbes in vinegar are transient passengers, not colonizers. So while it's marketed as a probiotic, your gut likely doesn't notice. Next, let's separate another myth from reality: its germ-killing reputation. Food safety scientists writing in Food Control Journal confirm that vinegar can kill certain bacteria on kitchen surfaces or produce. That's why it's great for cleaning veggies, not for cleansing your insides. Health authorities like the Centers for Disease Control and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration clearly state that ingesting vinegar doesn't treat infections. Use it for flavor, not disinfection. By the way, if you're enjoying science that cuts through hype, hit subscribe. We test health myths with data so you can save money and avoid fads. Next, which form of vinegar works best? Researchers in the Journal of Nutrition Science and Vitaminology compared forms and found that liquid vinegar raises blood acetate within 15 minutes, while capsules take twice as long and often deliver less acetic acid. Gummies taste better but add sugar. Consumer testing by Consumer Reports revealed that many pills contain far less acid than labels claim. If you're using vinegar for its physiological effects, the plain liquid, diluted in water, is the most consistent and budget-friendly choice. Let's look at proper dosing and timing next. Most clinical trials used 5 to 30 milliliters, roughly 1 to 2 tablespoons, once or twice a day. Researchers in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition noted the strongest results when vinegar was taken 5 to 20 minutes before a carb-heavy meal. Dental experts at the American Dental Association warn, always dilute it in a large glass of water to protect enamel and rinse afterward. Bedtime doses have mixed evidence, so stick to pre-meal timing for now. Next, let's talk safety. Dentists report in the Journal of Dental Research that acids as strong as vinegar can erode enamel over time, especially if sipped straight. Physicians writing in BMJ case reports describe rare esophageal injuries from undiluted shots. Gastroenterology specialists note that vinegar delays stomach emptying, which can worsen reflux or gastroparesis. Simple fix: dilute it, use a straw, and avoid it if you already struggle with heartburn. Still, that's not the only risk. Let's check its effects on minerals and medicines. A case documented in Nephron Journal showed that excessive vinegar use, over a cup a day for years, caused low potassium and bone thinning. Diabetes researchers found that vinegar can enhance insulin sensitivity, which sounds good but can drive blood sugar too low when combined with insulin or sulfonylurias. Pharmacists warn it may also amplify the effect of diuretics or blood pressure drugs. The rule? Moderate doses, clear communication with your healthcare team. Next, who actually benefits most? Data summarized in Diabetes Care show that people with prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, or polycystic ovary syndrome who eat carb-rich meals gain the most from vinegar's glucose blunting effect. For low-carb eaters or healthy adults, the difference is tiny. The National Kidney Foundation advises those with kidney disease to be cautious due to acid load. Gastroenterologists flag reflux, ulcers, and gastroparesis as red light conditions. Used wisely, it's harmless for most, but not everyone needs it. Next, why do studies keep disagreeing? Reviewers in the Cochrane database explain that differences in acetic acid dose, meal type, and participant health make outcomes inconsistent. Many trials are small and last just weeks, so minor errors look dramatic. Analysts writing in BMJ Open and Systematic Reviews Journal also point out publication bias. Positive results get published, null results don't. So when you hear new miracle findings, remember, the science is still young. That's why context matters more than headlines. Ready for that bonus section? First, start meals with protein and fiber. Research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows this simple order slows glucose spikes more than vinegar. Second, walk 10 to 15 minutes after eating. Sports scientists report in Sports Medicine Journal that post-meal movement significantly lowers blood sugar and boosts insulin sensitivity. Third, swap refined carbs for whole grains and legumes. Data from the Journal of Nutrition prove this change improves both appetite control and metabolic health. These cost nothing extra and work every day, with or without ACV. So, what have we learned? Apple cider vinegar isn't a miracle fat burner. It's a small, sometimes helpful tool. The American Diabetes Association and American Heart Association both stress that long-term health comes from steady habits, balanced meals, movement, and sleep. If you enjoy ACV, use 1 to 2 tablespoons diluted in water before a carb meal and keep your teeth safe. If you skip it, you're not missing a cure. Remember, real progress comes from consistent, evidence-based choices. This video is for education only, not medical advice. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment on which health myth you want tested next. And if this helped you, share it with someone chasing the next quick fix. See you in the next lesson.